So I'm off to a wedding fair this weekend where I'm going to be exhibiting, and I thought this was a great opportunity, as I'm about to get everything out and set it up and make sure I'm happy with how it looks, to bring you along with me, show you exactly how I exhibit and exactly what I'm going to be putting on show for the potential brides and grooms at the wedding fair. It's not a small bit of kit. Okay, so to start with then, what kind of wedding fairs am I going to? So I'm now exhibiting at the bigger wedding fairs. So you're talking 1,500 to 2,000 brides over the course of a day, maybe 2 days. This was pre-COVID. So the one I've got coming up is a 2-day event, and they're aiming, I think, between 500 and 700 brides, mainly because of the restrictions due to coronavirus. But we're gonna go through that as well. So what I'm gonna do is show you how I set up before coronavirus hit, and then the changes I've made since coronavirus has hit to keep my stall nice and COVID secure, COVID safe. You know, we've got to be conscious of everyone's health and safety. And so to start, let's look at the type of things I'm thinking of taking. So, the big box of doom. In here is my display wall. My display wall is about 3 meters long by 2 meters high, and it gives me a nice footprint in the room. These exhibition centers can be massive halls, and you're trying to compete and grab people's attention, grab people's eye line as they're moving around, looking at all different types of vendors. Remember, they're not just there to look at videographers, they're there to find photographers, cars, dresses, shoes, florists, decorations, you name it, and you need to stand out from the crowd. Now I'm going to show you the wall later on when it's constructed, but it's all branded. I've got screenshots of films I've taken on there just to really entice people in. I'll explain more about the wall when it's set up. So don't get too hung up about you've got to produce and show off complete wedding films. You don't. You want a few clips of your best shots, your best work, just to bring people in. And for that I use a 40-inch 4K TV. Now I make sure it's 4K because I film predominantly in 4K, and I try and export in 4K, and what I want is the best quality possible. So I've got my 40-inch TV, and the reason I went for a 40-inch TV is that I wanted it to be quite big in the room. I want it to be a dominating feature of my stand. I want people to go, that's a big TV, that's a big stand, I'm gonna go and chat to Luke and see what he's all about. That's the idea behind having a big TV. And so an extension cable is definitely up there with things you need. So you're gonna need your leaflets and your flyers. There's absolutely no point running a stall if you haven't got something to give to the couples to take away with them. I go with 2 sets of flyers to every wedding fair. So I've got an A5 flyer that opens up both sides, and it explains all my packages. It's got reviews in there from previous clients, and it gives them a lot of details on everything I can offer them and why they should pick me as their videographer. I then have a second flyer, which is the offers I'm running for that particular wedding fair. It's a good idea each wedding fair to run an offer, again, to entice people into your stand and convince them that you're the videographer for them and you should be filming their big day. And so what you want is any accolades, any awards you've won. They see the logo of the awards and stuff that you've been to, and it immediately sparks that thought of confidence in your service, and they want to come over then and chat to you. Now, of course, this isn't going to be the case for everyone. Some people will never have heard of these awards bodies. Some of them will only book people that have been a part of these awards bodies. You just don't know. But why run the risk of not enticing someone into your exhibition area and being able to talk to them and explain about what you do, just by not having this on display? So I always take it with me. I always have it on display. Hey, this is me. I've entered these awards. I've been vetted by other professionals in this industry. This is where I got to in those awards. I'm worth talking to. And that's why I take it along with me. So what happens when the clients actually get to your stall then? Well, let me go and grab something that I think you're gonna like. And so this is my iPad stand. So how I used to do my wedding fairs when I first started out is I would have a stack of paper that was basically a written form that I would get my clients to enter their details in so I could follow up with them and ask them about their wedding, get them to book, answer any questions they may have. It's predominantly what you want. You want their details so you can open up a line of communication with them and convince them that you're the videographer for them. But what I was finding is that in the rush and the panic of a busy exhibition centre where there's 1,000 things running through their minds, there's 1,000 things going on, that I was getting very scribbled handwriting. Now you obviously can't guarantee the neatness of people's handwriting, and it was something I was struggling with. When I would go to email the clients, I either couldn't read the email, I couldn't make out certain letters or numbers or configurations, and I lost that client because I couldn't then get in touch with them. My iPad goes in there, and what I've got is a section on my website that isn't linked to the main section of my website. It's a side menu, so that shows all the offers I've got on that weekend, any price differences I've got, reviews from other clients, And then right at the bottom, it's all on a single page, and then right at the bottom is a form for them to fill out. And the other great advantage is I'm not swamped by paperwork. As soon as the client fills out the form on the website and clicks send, I get an email ping straight to me with that form, with all their details, which means I can look at it later on when I get home. I can sift through all the emails, figure out what dates I'm available, who's getting married where, who's interested in what package, and I can sit down and go through it, and it's already on the computer for me. So this is a far easier, better and faster way for me to deal with the inquiries, deal with the bookings, and it also gives the client something to do whilst on the stand. So it has the added advantage of you can have this on one side of your stand whilst I'm chatting to someone on the other side of the stand whilst someone else is watching the TV. So you can then have multiple people in your area of exhibition without them being bored, without them twiddling their thumbs, and you not being able to finish up a conversation quick enough with another potential client, and that client then walking away. So this is a great way of people can scroll through your packages, they can see anything you want to promote on the day, and it keeps them busy. And then by the time you finish talking to someone, you can come back and go, oh, hi guys, oh, you found the iPad, nice. Right, have you got any questions? Where are you getting married? Oh, lovely. Have you found all the suppliers today? Would you like any recommendations? You know, you can then strike up that conversation, and it's all been drawn into by the iPad. It's also got a really cool stand here, so you can put another set of leaflets on the stand here. So what I normally have are my bigger leaflets on the desk. That's like the A5 bifold ones, and that's a little bit more in depth. And then what I'll have is my offer leaflets by the iPad, so people can go through, see, oh, I've seen that offer, right, and then I'll take a leaflet. Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about COVID-isms, okay? The world has changed. We now live in the new world where COVID is everywhere and everyone's got to be COVID secure and safe. And so there's a few things you may want to think about bringing extra that you might not have had to do in the past. So what are those things? So we've got surface wipes, and I will use these predominantly for wiping my iPad down in between each client coming around. The way wedding fairs are tending to work at the moment, if they are going ahead, is there's a box that will be in front of your exhibition stand. You have to stay in your box, they have to stay in their box. You can talk to them, but only one couple or one couple's family are allowed in that box at a time. So you can only talk to one person at a time. So I'm going to have the iPad in that box so they can scroll through, and while I'm talking to them, then once they leave, I can go over with a wipe the screen off where they've touched it, and then it's ready for the next client to come in. A big old bottle of hand sanitizer, okay? All the rage in 2020, these have been sold out everywhere, understandably so. So why have I got this on my stand, okay? So you'll find most exhibition centres, they'll have hand washing points now around the venue, and that's for exhibitors and for guests to wash their hands and sanitize their hands as they're going around. But why do you need it on your own stand? Well, the clients are physically going to be touching some of your equipment, and you want to make sure that's as sanitary as you can, not only for you, but for the next clients that are coming along. So I'm going to have this sat next to the iPad. So when the clients come up, hi there, I'm Luke, how you doing? You found everything you want? Yep, blah, 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 blah. Right. If you'd like to have a look at the iPad, if I could just ask you to sanitize your hands before you touch anything, bang, that's it, they're doing their hands, and then as they're doing their hands, you're starting to give them a sales pitch. When's the wedding date? Have you got a venue yet? But make sure you got some hand sanitizer, puts your clients at ease, it makes sure your equipment and you are safe, and that's really what matters the most when you're exhibiting during this weird and wonderful COVID era. So what we're now going to do is I'm going to build this wall in my front room here. You're going to see exactly how I set it up, and then once it's set up, I'll talk you through exactly how I've got everything running and give you some more pointers about what you need to think about. So let's get on with the build. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that little sequence there, just showing me building what you can now see. So this is my setup for the wedding fair then. So as you can see, I've got the display wall behind me, nice, big, dominant in the room. You want it to catch people's eye. Things to note about the wall behind me then and how I designed it, because I designed the actual print myself. Although I hired a company to make the wall, I designed the print myself. So up here, what I've got is my branding, nice big logo with cinematic videography written behind it. Why have I done that then? I want that nice and high so that across a room, when people are glancing, they're walking around, they can see that logo, they can see my logo, and they can see exactly what I do. Right, that guy's called Luke Batchelor and he does cinematic videography. Right, I'm interested in the videographer, I'm gonna head over there. That's why I put it up high. I want it to grab attention. What have I got underneath that then? Well, I've got my social media tags. Okay, so I've got my Instagram, my Facebook, and my YouTube channel. And that's because I want people, as they're walking around, to have the option to go, oh, I wonder what this guy's about. Quick scan through Instagram, quick scan through Facebook, bang, there he is. I found him. Oh wow, his work's amazing. I'm gonna go and have a chat with him. And that's why I've got everything up nice and high. Now, if I just step out of the way for a moment, what you can see then is the back of the wall. Okay, and what I've done here is I've got my slogan, a love story that lasts forever, slogan that I love. Okay, you film someone's wedding, you put it into a beautiful cinematic film, and that is a love story that will last forever. You can play it over and over again, which is why I've done it. Then got 3 of the couples that I filmed last year, and what I did is I merged the images together so that it created, you know, a nice atmosphere, lots of smiles, lots of happiness. And what I want to portray on this wall is, what can I give someone? What can I give you in your wedding film? Well, I can show you the happiest day of your life. I can show you being as happy as you can be. And that's why I've designed the wall the way I have, is that I want it to be happy, I want it to be vibrant, I want it to draw people in and be like, wow, those people look really happy that Luke's filmed. I want him to make me look like that. And that's what I want my couples to start thinking about. Across the bottom then, just because I had a bit of dead space, I've got my website and my email address so that people can email me straight away. If we look over to my left then, you've got the stand, okay, so the travel box you saw, that has a wraparound, and that then becomes my sort of plinth, my stand, which is really a convenient way of doing a little bit more advertising for you. So as you can see, I've got branding across the front. Again, all my social media tags, my logo, cinematic videography, making it very clear at a glance what I do, what I provide, what service am I. Because that's what I want to do. I want to be clear and concise with my clients. They haven't got time, they're going to be busy. There's 1,000 things going on in that room. I need them to look at my stand, go, who is this guy? What does he do? What can he offer me? And that is partly what this is doing, is drawing those people in. Okay, on top of the plinth then, I've got my award logos and stuff from last year. Okay, nice and displayed so that people walking past, oh, I recognise that logo, I'll go and have a chat with him. Okay, that's why that there. The offer I've got on for that weekend, so the weekend coming up, I'm actually running a competition to give away one of my medium packages for free. All they've got to do is sort of follow me on Instagram. There's loads of different ways you can entice people in. You can do raffles, giveaways, anything you can think of, but have it nice and clearly displayed. In the middle, I've got the leaflets that I want people to take, so they can come along. If they don't want to speak to me, some people are quite shy and nervous, they just want to sort of grab it, go and have a look at it, and then contact me by email. That's absolutely fine. They can just walk up, take a leaflet, and off they go. So to my left then, I've got my iPad stand, which has obviously got my iPad in it. Like I said, I've moved all of my inquiries to an electronic based system, which is far easier for me, cuts down any mistakes, any illegible writing. It really would be the way to go. Now, I love this. It's taken me probably a couple of hours to design a little bit of section of my website to make it work, and it looks really professional, really clean, and that's what I was after from it. And obviously from there, I get all my inquiries direct onto the computer. I can sit down that evening, message everyone, get those bookings in, which is predominantly what it's all about. And then we come to the big TV, which, as you can currently see, is playing my showreel. So I haven't got the sound on. I would have the sound on normally, but just for the purposes of filming this, I've turned the sound off. But as you can see, nice solid tripod, big TV, big eye-catching moments, and then what I've got is some of the best shots I took over the last 18 months or so, all linked together. It's about 5 minutes long, the showreel. I know there's certain different ways people would like to do their showreel. Some people think you keep it sort of very short, very like under a minute, and you show only your best shots. For me, it's not something that I like to do. I like to show a wide variety of my work, and I want someone who comes and talks to me, and the whole time I'm having that conversation that's maybe 3 or 4 minutes long, I don't want the same shots coming up on the screen. I want to show how much work I've done, how good my work is. All of my shots are great, and that's why I've made it about 5.5 minutes long, so that I can be chatting here to a client, yeah, how's your wedding, and they're going to keep glancing at the TV, and each time they look, it's a completely different shot on the screen. And that naturally then leads into more conversation, because they go, oh, I love that shot, that looks great, and you can start sort of sizing up that client. What do they want from their wedding film? What style do they want? What do they want from you? And that really then is the start of building that rapport, which is what it's all about, and that's what's going to get you those bookings. Another thing you can do with the TV and with your showreel, especially if you're advertising in your local area and you predominantly want to film weddings in that local area, is any weddings you have filmed at popular venues, make sure you include a few clips in there about, or a few clips in there of the famous aspects of those venues. So there's a venue that I've shot at that's quite a popular Kent venue, and it's got a fully working Victorian carousel. That's what that venue is famous for. And so in the shot, actually, as you look there, and there it was, I've got shots of that carousel. So people associate that carousel and those shots with that venue. So when they're walking on going, I'm getting married at this venue, hang on, there's a video on that screen of my venue, let's go and have a look. And that's another way you can entice people in. You can bring people in to your stand, which is what you want. And so let me talk you through now the expense of this kind of setup. So what did it cost? Now, I've only recently moved into this kind of setup for the bigger wedding fairs. When I started out, no way did I have this kind of setup. I went along, I had one roller banner, which was probably the width of one of these panels, that literally just pulled out the floor. I used to get a desk, used to put a couple of bits of leaflets and flyers on the desk, and then I would have 2 iPads because I didn't have a high enough quality television at the time or a stand. I'd have 2 iPads playing alternate videos, and I then relied basically on my gift of the gab, me going up to people, drawing people into my stand and talking to them that way. I found a lot of the time that with not having a wall, people could look through me to stands that were behind. They'd be chatting to me and they'd be glancing behind at, you know, maybe they want to go and look at a bridal shop or a florist, and there's a really nice setup in the row behind me. They would then scoping that out rather than dealing with me. So that's the reason I went for the wall. The wall in total cost me £600 to design and have it made. I went for a curved wall. They also do straight walls. I like the curved feeling of it sort of enclosing my area, and drawing people in and making it mine. That's why I went for a curved wall. So yeah, £600 for the curved wall. That then came with the top and the carry case. That was all came as one. It does also come with a set of lights that I've not got set up, mainly because I can't fit them in with my ceiling. But normally when I display it comes with 2 spotlights to really sort of accentuate the wall itself. The frames, the printing I've done myself, got a home printer. Frames, couple of quid from a local like homeware store. So leaflets, I take a portion out of my advertising budget every year, and I bulk buy to make sure that I try and keep the costs as low as I can. So I tend to buy the leaflets for the year rather than for the show, and that helps keep my costs down. And obviously leaflet design and leaflet costing is completely individual to you and what you want from your leaflet and where you purchase it from. So, but it's not overly expensive. I think you can pay somewhere in the region with a big manufacturer around £120, £130 and get somewhere close to 500 to 1,000 leaflets, which isn't altogether that bad. Good high quality printing. If you can do the design yourself, I definitely would recommend that. Spend the time to put your branding on it, your look on it, make sure you're happy with it. At the end of the day, you're the one selling yourself, you're selling your services, and you want continuity over everything. You want everything to look like it's synced together. It looks like it works together. The TV, obviously a 4K TV. You don't obviously have to go for a 4K TV. If you've only got a HD TV, then that's what you can do. But like I said, when I started out, I had a couple of iPads with no sound whatsoever and just handed out business cards. At the end of the day, it depends on the size of the wedding fair you're going to, the type of clients that are going to those wedding fairs, how much they're willing to spend. And at the end of the day, as long as you're there and you're promoting your work, that's all that matters. When you start getting to the bigger fairs, then you do need to start looking into a bigger setup, just because you're competing with so many other people who have the money, especially the bigger venues and the bigger companies. They have a massive advertising budget. This kind of thing is nothing to them, whereas as self-employed or as freelancers, we might not have that free flow of cash. So I went to a few wedding fairs, I looked at what other people had done with their stands. I saw things I liked, I saw things I didn't like, and I then took bits from other people's stands and created my own stand out of that. Now, a lot of wedding stands, for example, will have a table at the front, and they've got stuff all over the table, and the vendor will stand behind and just wait for people to sort of come to them. I don't like that approach. Immediately, by having a table there, you've put a barrier between you and the client. There's a subconscious barrier there. I don't like that. I like my clients to be able to walk right up to me, talk to me, have a go on the iPad, look at the screen. Do you know what I mean? And it's a bit condensed here because of my living room. It's not as big as I would have it at a wedding fair. I'd have these pushed out to the side, the TV on the side, the stand on the side, and the iPad slightly over to the left a bit more, but you get the general gist. It's about allowing more than a couple of people into your area to look at different aspects of what you do while you float around and talk to all of them. And that's what it's all about. And the TV itself actually cost me £400. I'll link the exact model I've got in the description below, but obviously there's so many TVs out there, you've got to make sure you get the right one for your business and for your needs. You don't maybe need to go as big as I have. I've explained the reasons why I've gone that big, but don't feel like you have to. There's plenty of smaller options that are the same quality, that will do the same job. Completely depends on you and how much setup you want to take with you. But all in all, the setup I've got here costs somewhere in the region of £1,200, but I saved up for that. I didn't buy it all at once. I've added to it over the course of time. As I've seen other things I like, I've bought more things on board. The biggest investment I did make was the wall, obviously, but I think it gives the biggest impact, and that's why it was worth the money for me to do it. And I know what some of you are thinking. You'll be sat at home in the position I was in a few years ago going, I can't afford that. That's an extortionate amount of money for me at the moment when I'm filming weddings, maybe still for free or for a couple of £100. How do you expect me to fork out for this kind of stuff when there's cameras, there's lenses, there's memory cards, there's so many more interesting and more critical things, frankly, to be buying? And I agree with you. When I first started, that's where I spent my money. I spent it on the cameras, the lenses, the gear, the computers, the hard drives, things that were tangible. They got me better quality weddings, so I got better work, so I could book more clients. But I then got to the point where you have to start realizing that if you're charging X amount for a wedding, for instance, if you're charging £1,000 to £1,200 per wedding day, which is fairly average, I would say, in the southeast region for a full day's coverage, then spending one wedding's worth of money on a setup you can take to any wedding fair, set it up, have continuity, look professional, stand out amongst the crowd. If this setup now gets me 5 bookings on a wedding fair, then it's made its money back in one day. But you've then got to think that I'm going to be using this on multiple wedding fairs. This isn't just a one-trick pony. I'm going to be taking this to every wedding fair this year, and probably for the next 2 or 3 years I'm not looking to change this setup. There's no need to. I've got my service, you can see what I do. I've got my advertising, you can see what I'm offering, and I've drawn you in with an impactful wall. Well, I don't need to change that for a while. And so in total, over those 3 years, if you pick up 35, 40 bookings from these wedding fairs, this is more than paid for itself. It's a good investment for those days to pick up those clients who are maybe sitting on the fence. It brings them in so you can talk to them. And that's what it's all about. It's about bringing people to you so you can explain your services, show them your beautiful footage, get them to book you, and then you go and film their beautiful weddings. And like I said, there is some COVIDism. So the only thing that I would be doing differently this weekend with a COVID wedding fair than I would have done in a previous wedding fair is that I will move the iPad slightly forward, and that'll be sort of standalone just to give me a bit of distance between me and the client, social distancing. I've then got the hand sanitizer on the plinth there. What I will probably do on the weekend is push the advertising back and just have the hand sanitizer out the front, so it's very obvious for people to come in and squirt their hands before they do anything. And the TV is going to remain the same, the wall's going to remain the same. I'm going to have to wear a mask. The clients are going to be wearing masks, so it's just going to be a little bit more of an unknown. But I'm well prepared, as are all the other exhibitors going, and it should be a great weekend, and hopefully there's lots of people that are going to be booking their weddings or booking their suppliers this weekend. Okay guys, and I hope you found that really helpful. It's a bit more of a rough and ready video than I have been making, but as I was doing this afternoon, I really wanted to bring you along and give you something useful. We talk a lot about cameras and gear and what different cameras can do and how to film certain weddings and how to stabilize shots and all these technical aspects, which are great to go through, and how to do certain bits, but no one really talks about this kind of thing where, you know, marketing, selling yourself, setting yourself apart from the competition. And that's what I wanted to do today. Just show you what I do, show you some ideas of what's available out there for you to sink your teeth into and make yourself stand out amongst the crowd. And if you have enjoyed watching this video, then please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Let me know what you thought of this new sort of format, this bit more rough and ready. I know my videos in the past have been quite almost clinical, lots of studio lighting with a backdrop and very sort of not rough and ready like this has been, but I wanted to try a new style of video. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you like these type of videos more? Would you prefer more of me just going out and showing you stuff? I'm really interested to hear what you think. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel. It really would mean a great deal to me. So again, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. See you later.